Greetings out there to everybody in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. I have your questions today from twitter.com/AaronRift. So let's go ahead and get started. First one today comes from Joshua Anderson. Do you think WWE will have Bob Lashley, and Roman Reigns be the last match of the night and risk another walkout? Interesting question. This is not Money in the Bank, and this is, you could say, a bigger match than Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley, I feel like at this stage of the game, is being pushed stronger than Mahal. So yeah, I think there is a possibility this could be the final match at the pay-per-view, especially if the winner is facing Brock Lesnar. WWE could see it as this match is the most important because it's determining the challenger for the Universal title. And of course, Brock Lesnar is the main event. So WWE might have that attitude that Reigns and Lashley should close the show. Is it a good idea? I don't think so. I think it's a terrible idea. This pay-per-view is in Pittsburgh, the site of the 2014 Royal Rumble, and we all remember what happened with that show. I think this match is in a lot of trouble either way. I think there's a decent chance this match is going to be a disaster in the sense that whether it's on last or even if it's on in the middle of the show, I think there's a reasonable probability that the crowd is going to turn against it, much like they did in Chicago for Reigns versus Mahal. Bobby Lashley just hasn't really caught fire since returning. The reactions to him have been flat. The storylines have been weak. Case in point, the Sami Zayn sisters storyline. And Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. I'm very concerned about how this match is going to play out and if there's anything WWE can possibly do to get people to care about this match. And having them face the Revival 3 weeks in a row, I don't think is the right way to go about it. But we'll see what happens. My gut feeling is it's not going to be pretty, but maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe those two will have a great match and maybe the crowd will appreciate it. Yeah, right. Got this one here from Great Turbonian. Any chance you could see Braun Strowman go to SmackDown Live by cashing in on AJ Styles at SummerSlam? Does this make any sense whatsoever? Could I see it happening by chance? Yeah, maybe, like Lloyd Christmas says. So you're saying there's a chance? I feel like Braun Strowman as the Money in the Bank briefcase holder is a mismatch. It just isn't right for his character. Him going to SmackDown and cashing in on AJ, to me, doesn't make any sense. And even if he announces it in advance, why not just go for Brock? You know, doesn't Strowman have something to prove? He lost to Brock, although I guess we're supposed to forget about that. You would think that Strowman's character would want a piece of Brock Lesnar. He wants the biggest and baddest dudes in the yard. With all due respect to AJ Styles, you would think Strowman would want Lesnar, and he would announce it. He's like, you know what? I want the title match at SummerSlam. And maybe that's what will happen. Maybe it'll be a triple threat. Maybe it'll be Reigns, Lesnar, and Strowman at SummerSlam. That way we do not get the tired Lesnar versus Reigns match. But AJ versus Strowman, yeah, I don't think so. And I don't think Strowman is going to SmackDown. I think that that is highly unlikely in all likelihood. Got this one here from Ivan. Hey Aaron, love the show. Thank you for that. Hope you are doing well. I've been wondering this for weeks. Why does Baron Corbin have the constable gimmick? Is he dealing with some sort of injury? Hope you have a happy 4th of July. It has nothing to do with him being hurt. He has actually wrestled on Raw, and he continues to work at live events. I think that WWE decided they needed to change things up with him. he was on the verge of being one of those guys that had no creative direction and no plan, nothing going for him. So by doing this constable gimmick, it gives him something to do now. It puts him on TV every week, and it gives him some heat, which he desperately needed. He got his hair cut, which, in my opinion, was also a huge positive. He looks way better with it, so it was a nice excuse to change his look up, and I think the whole thing is a positive. I definitely think it's good to do something different with him, because what he was doing before wasn't really cutting it. So you change it up. You change things up. I like it. I think it's a good move so far. Got this one here from our boy Interstate Kyle. Since South Dakota became the newest state to get Monday Night Raw live on TV, which state will be next? Wyoming, Montana, Alaska, Hawaii, North Dakota, Idaho, Vermont, or New Hampshire? Great question. If I had to make a prediction, I would say a state like Montana, or a state with a relative decent population. Maybe Vermont, because it's close to major areas. You know, it's a small state. It's close to New York. But I think places like Hawaii and Alaska are the biggest long shots, because it's just so expensive. WWE does the occasional live event in Alaska and Hawaii, but producing television there, the expense of traveling that far just to do one TV taping in a smaller populated area just really isn't financially feasible. Now, of course, we could throw that all out the window with the Fox deal. WWE, if they wanted to, if everybody wanted to take a nice little trip to Hawaii and give the wrestlers a little vacation, then why not? Who cares if it's a money loser for 1 week? Why not just go to Hawaii and do a Raw there? Just for fun, just to shake things up. WWE could certainly afford it now, but up until this point, the reason is that it was just too expensive and not really cost efficient to go to Hawaii. And this is the same company that doesn't want to run TV at Madison Square Garden because of the costs. So they're always trying to cut corners. Maybe that'll change with the Fox deal. Maybe they'll go to Hawaii at some point, just for fun. But I do think it's still a long shot. And like I said, maybe one of the smaller states like Montana. I remember WCW would run in Montana and also Idaho. There were a few Nitros in Boise, so I would not rule that out. Maybe on one of these Pacific Northwest swings, WWE will do like Portland and Boise, or Seattle and Boise, or something like that. Got this one here from James. Shouldn't Alexa Bliss be thrilled she's facing Nia Jax in an Extreme Rules match? In a one-on-one match, she would have to use heel tactics to win. Now anything is legal. You're looking for too much logic in WWE programming. Yeah, it would make sense, but the idea is that Alexa is just afraid of Nia because Nia is way bigger than her and way stronger. But you would think that a match where anything goes, Alexa would feel like she'd have a little bit more of an advantage because she can bend the rules. Instead, she has to do the reaction, oh no, I hate this, you know, because it's the typical reaction when a babyface chooses a stipulation, the heel has to be upset and freaking out. When you think about it logically, really doesn't make sense, but that's WWE for you. Got this one here from my cat, Aaron Riff's cat, yeah. I hate to say this, but is it pointless to call up NXT stars to the main roster? Many promising stars like Finn, Rude, and Nakamura are barely given anything, and many of them flounder rather than prosper. Very few guys have succeeded to be top guys. Your thoughts? It's all about the money. The truth is, if you want to go out and have great matches all the time, then you're better off in the Indies or NXT. If your goal is to make a great living and support your family and be well off, WWE is the place to be. It is what it is. Yeah, it would be nice if some of these NXT guys got better opportunities on the main roster, but let's face it, NXT is a small pond. When you go to the main roster, it's a very, very big pond. There are a lot of fish, and it's hard to break out. So unless you're a top tier world-class performer and you're in the right place at the right time, it's going to be a struggle for any of these guys, whether it's Nakamura or Samoa Joe. They're going to have a struggle to try and get that spot and maintain that spot. But I don't see anything wrong with them going to the main roster. I mean, it has to happen eventually. You got to try it. You got to give these guys the opportunity to perform on the big stage. It's just a shame that the writing was not better. It's a very crowded roster as well, so you have the combination of those things, and it makes it challenging for these guys. Got this one here from Boogeyman79. Do you think CM Punk changed the way WWE looked at wrestling, such as NXT 205 Live? And do you think he changed things? Your thoughts? I have gotten questions like this before, but I'll go ahead and say it again. Absolutely. I think CM Punk and Daniel Bryan were key factors, especially CM Punk, in WWE changing their attitude about indie wrestlers. For the longest time, WWE was against signing indie wrestlers. But once CM Punk came in and succeeded, WWE changed their attitude about things. And I think also with Triple H having more influence, WWE started making a more conscious effort to sign indie talents. And then we started noticing TNA guys getting signed. For the longest time, guys in TNA were not getting hired by WWE. But then around 2013, 2014, we started seeing big names from TNA start getting signed to NXT. So yeah, I think the rise of NXT has really helped. But of course, I think CM Punk opened the door for indie guys to get more noticed and get opportunities that 10 years ago they would not have gotten. At least not as likely. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership and support as always. Head over to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and I will see you guys next time.